Hey guys, J-Man here. And today we're talking about some wrestling, of course. It is Tuesday, and we're going to be covering last Tuesday's NXT, which actually had a lot. We're going to be covering SmackDown, and we're going to cover Survivor Series War Games, and we're going to cover last night's Raw. And Bob is not a peasant. That's all I've got to say. That guy's everywhere now. I've seen his face everywhere. Yeah. So before we do get to that, let's do a couple of recaps or notes. Tomorrow night on the Action Elite, so not my channel, it's going to be on the Action Elite's channel. We're going to be talking about the films of Albert Pion, who just recently passed away. I personally own 10 of his movies. We're just going to talk about our feelings towards him and his films that he made. The big ones are obviously The Sword and the Sorcerer, Nemesis, Cyborg. Those are probably the big three. There's a few other ones that are not too bad. So we're going to discuss that and pay some tribute to him. So that'll be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time on the Action Elites channel. The link to that website and channel are in the description of this video, as well as my other videos. Okay. And then, of course, this Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, we are continuing the space opera versus. So this Friday, we are doing the last of the I guess the semifinals, which is going to be Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone 3D versus Krull. Krull, as you guys know, was voted out against Yor in the first round for the qualifying matches. Due to popular demand, we brought it back as a second chance, as a People's Choice second chance, where we pitted it against the other People's Choice second chance was Ice Pirates. And Krull did win against Ice Pirates, so it managed to roll its way into the semis. Dios mio, man. So Space Hunter versus Krull. If you want Krull to win, you better show up on Friday, because Space Hunter seems to be the favorite. Both of these movies are childhood favorites. So I'm going to be pretty good with either of them, but we're going to have to see how it pans out. All right. And we'll leave you with our good buddy Shockmaster now. Okay. So that is it for the recaps. Next week, we'll be back to somewhat of a regular time. This Thursday, I am seeing Violent Night with my fellow member who I'm bringing in right now, Steve, and I'm seeing it with the other guys from the Action Elite. So I'm not sure if I'll review it for sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to be streaming about it. I guess we'll just have to see how it goes, because it is a big movie. I don't know if it's like a super big movie that needs to be discussed, but we might do something for it. We might not. Worst case, I will review it anyways. Okay, so let's get to it. Bring in my co-host. Howdy ho.
Howdy.
All right. So there's actually a lot to talk about. There's a lot. So
Yeah.
We're going to get to, I still have my cough, which is just not going away. But I was hoping it'd be like Strange Worlds, which just went away and nobody knew what it was. But no, it's
I didn't know what it was, and then it bombed. So it was this unknown movie to me that bombed, and everyone is happy it bombed, and I'm like, okay.
Well, it cost between 130 to 180 million, and it made 15 million.
God bless Disney. They don't care about making money.
It's like, Room, where are you?
Yeah.
Room, is anyone reading this Room? Room, can you get Room, where are you?
I think after, I don't know how many years of people talking about this stuff, I don't think there's anything left to be said. It's just now, okay, you're not listening you haven't listened the last, I don't know how many years.
Right.
So we won't say anything anymore. We simply just won't show up.
Right. Exactly. No, right. You know what? This is the best way, because if you say stuff, they're gonna use it against you. This is why they actually say in the Miranda rights, anything you say can and will be used. So if you come out and say, "Oh, this is a trash food," they're like, "Oh, you're saying that because you're this, that, and the other."
Yes.
Just don't say anything.
Yeah.
And nobody goes see it, and it dies. And everyone's like, "Well, why did it die?" I'm not telling you.
Nope.
Why didn't you go see it? No comment. But we need to know. No, you don't need to know. It's like, if I tell you, you're going to just label me whatever you want to label me. So I'm going to not talk about it. Simple as that. You cannot get simpler than not shelling out the money. Violent Night is going to do better in a week's worth of viewing versus this Disney picture, which is a high release picture. It was like the videos, the trailers are everywhere. They're pushing the crap out of it, and nobody went to see it.
Nope.
Remember Three Amigos? It's like, and then Amigos. Nobody went to see it because nobody cares about three wealthy Spanish landowners on a weekend in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Right? And remember that in the movie?
Yeah, that was,
We strayed from the formula and we paid the price. And then it was like, I thought we were quite good in it. Good. We were great. I memorized that movie, so I don't want to go through the whole movie now. But it's like, exactly. You thought you're being clever, and it sucks. No one cares.
As a kid growing up, I used to watch the Disney movies as entertainment, yes, but it was feel good. It was like I saw it and it was feel good, and it was based on a fable or a fairy tale or whatever. But I walked out and I'm like, that was 90 minutes or whatever the hell well spent. I felt really good for 90 minutes.
Yep.
Don't feel that anymore. So I'm like, not going to pay to not feel good, because that's the only thing I get out of this. So yeah.
Here, note to Disney.
I said shut up. I apologize for not realizing you are deaf.
Thank you, Kurt Avon. Okay, NXT. Woo, lots of stuff. Okay. Toxic Attraction came out. Another one bites the dust. I wrote that as a funny line. Mandy was by herself doing this Iron Survivor thing, which is coming up, right? And then Caden and Katana came out. I mean, like, it was just like a segment, basically. Oh, do I have? Oh, hey, Double C, how's it going, man?
Hey, Double C.
No,
definitely not.
Well, they used to be somewhat good. Like, remember when, like, Pocahontas was like a lesser Disney movie? You know what I mean? And it's like, right? Like, it's like, that was okay. It wasn't as good as like some of these, but it was good. It's like, well, that's like a masterpiece now, right? Like,
Yeah. I remember like, what was one of the highlights of your year watching this Disney movie, Aladdin or whatever? Like, now it's just Disney released a movie.
Yeah, Disney used to prove me wrong. When they announced Tarzan, I literally barfed. I was like, Tarzan's gonna be going around singing "This is trash," and then I went to go see the movie because it's Tarzan, because I have to see every Tarzan thing. And I was like, this was like surprisingly well done. Yeah. It is one of the more faithful adaptations. The only thing they changed because kids won't understand the complexities of a gorilla being a good guy and a bad, because the gorillas are fighting other gorillas in Tarzan, the novel. But I can see how that would be problematic for a kid. It's like, but the gorillas are the good guys, So they just made the cheetah the villain or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so well, whatever. Nobody cares. It's like, who read that book? Like 2 people in the audience, like it's like, okay, so what? You change that one thing, but the music was Phil Collins, and Phil Collins. I'm not a Phil Collins guy, but that music was awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
Son of Man, one of my favorites of Disney, right? Yeah. That entire song, I was like, well, this is so good, right? Like, all the songs were great in that. So there you go. It proved me wrong. And I walked out. I was like, well, you guys got me. It's okay. You got me. I thought this
was really good.
So that's probably one of my, that might be my favorite Disney movie. Snow White obviously is up there.
Peter Pan,
sure. All those obvious ones. That's like, these are the obvious ones. But the non-obvious ones, Tarzan. Hercules is pretty fun too.
Never saw it.
Never saw it. Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's Hercules. He's fighting Hades. Like, that's cool. James Woods is Hades. Like, that's genius casting.
Yeah, that is genius casting.
I mean that's genius.
I don't know why it took till 97 for them to figure that out, but anyhow.
All right, so Toxic Attraction.
Yeah, this just proved me, like, Katana and Caden walked out from the back, and I was like, who are these two? Oh yeah, they're the tag champs. I'm like, I can't get into them.
Yeah.
Especially Katana. She's got this little girl voice. It really throws me off.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is this 17-year-old? Oh, she's older and she's supposed to be the champion. I'm like, just give it back to Toxic Attraction. I'm not feeling Katana, Chance, and Caden James, whatever their names are. So.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. That was my reaction.
All right. We had Cora Jade versus Wendy Chu. Looks like they're starting to do something where she was all crying and upset. So I'm not sure now if they're saying that this is gonna affect her and this will maybe change her angle. I did want to know, did you notice Cora's hair? Her extensions got pulled out.
Yeah.
I hate when shit like that happens.
Yeah.
In the ring. And what's her face? Rhea Ripley always loses something out of her ear or whatever. And it's always like this black thing in the ring. You're like, and it literally, like, as soon as their hair got pulled out, I was like, oh, I'm like just looking at the hair.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're just like, when are they going to move that out of the way? I hate that.
Kick it out of the way, man.
Rhea Ripley, she did. I hate what I actually don't like this. I don't know why girls think this is cool, like doing the big loop in their ear.
I hate that.
Because Rhea Ripley is very attractive, actually, but then she's got that. I hate that loopy ear thing. But anyways, it always falls out because it's not in. It's just literally looped around. So she takes a hit and then it's always there. And you're like, oh great, there's that black thing standing there. Get it out of the ring or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I hate crap in the ring. Emperor's New Groove.
Hey Brian. Yeah, I think so. What do you think, Steve? What did you think of that? Cora Jade obviously won.
You know what? I said before, I think Wendy Chu probably has talent. I hate the thing even when she runs up and she goes like this and she's going. I'm like, no, it's not. I don't care. I don't care. Cora Jade won, which was the right move. Wendy Chu crying afterwards. I'm like, finally do something with her. Don't make her like she's ready for a nap. Like, I hate that. I cannot stand it. Cora Jade is on the rise. I'm glad, I think she's a legit challenger to Mandy Rose at some point, if Mandy Rose is still a champion by that point. But Wendy Chu is just, I can't get into anything she does, any feud she has, nothing.
Right.
I just don't like this angle. Get rid of it.
I don't like it either. I think she could do something better.
Yeah.
And then we had Kiana James versus Ivy Nile.
How the hell did Kiana James? I thought they were pushing her. Why did she lose?
And she submitted.
I like Ivy Nile. Like, I like her look.
Yep.
And everything. I don't understand the Diamond Mine thing. I haven't figured that out yet. But I like her. She seems like a good technical wrestler, and I like her look. Yep. But when she beat Kiana James, I was like, did I miss something? Why is Kiana James losing clean? Especially when she had that Peyton girl outside without her face mask who was like literally wrecked last week. And I'm just like, this looked weird to me. I thought you would push Kiana James over this other girl. It just seemed like a random win.
It was random.
Yeah.
I have nothing against Ivy Nile. I'm looking her up now to remember. Yeah, she's cool. No. She's tough. She looks like a tough chick.
Well, she's the pit bull, right? So I like that. I like Ivy Nile's look and how she competed in this match. I was just like, why over Kiana James? And then Fallon Hensley, or whatever her name is, came out at the end and they confronted each other. But I'm like,
yeah, but you just lost.
So who cares?
Yeah.
It's just weird booking.
Yep, that was weird. We had an Isla Dawn promo.
2 Scottish women fighting. This should be interesting.
Yeah, I know. Last kicker.
The last kicker. I don't know. I like Isla Dawn. She brings something new. I haven't seen her wrestle, so I don't know how she is in the ring, but I like her gimmick. And and I love her accent, and I just want to see her.
Like
I want to see her and Alba Fire have a big interview. I won't understand a word of it, but I'll be laughing through the entire thing.
Oh, I'm good. My boss was Scottish, 70-year-old Scottish man, heavy accent and garbage writing, and I reported directly to him. He was the general manager. He's great. I love the accent. I love the garbage writing. They're like, no comedian's writing. I'm like, no, I'm good. I could understand everything. It was so good. So I like the accent. I think it's good. That would be a hilariously awesome promo. I still have my cough, so I'll try to mute if I can, but if I don't get to it in time, you're gonna have to hear the cough. We had Ava from Schism Rocks thing talking about like Thanksgiving and holidays. It's just like, oh, okay. I would normally kind of fast forward that part, but I'm like, well, let's see what she's got to say. I don't know. I don't know what it is about. She's weird to me. I think she reminds me too much. Like, obviously she looks like The Rock or resembles The Rock, but like just the way she's talking, it just, something's off. I need to see her. She hasn't really wrestled. Has she wrestled yet or not really? I need to see what she's like in the ring.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not with this whole schism thing.
Yep.
I gave it a shot. It just goes on too long. And by the time everyone's finished talking, I'm asleep.
Right.
I don't really care. Like, you're a cult, cool. But you put fans through tables and stuff. I'm like, I don't understand what they're here for.
Right.
Like, are you the NWO? Like, what are you here for? I don't get it. I'm just mystified through the entire their matches. And I watched a few of them now. I've seen the two British guys together. I don't know. They're called something. I don't know what they're called together. This Joe Gacy guy, I've watched him. I haven't seen Alba Rain, but like, I'm just like, I don't know what you guys are doing again. Like, you're a cult and you're just come out and you're like, we're not inclusive anymore. And I'm like, okay. And then you put a guy through a table. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Moving on.
Yeah. Like, I don't get like what is it? Like, what are you trying to do? That's the thing, right?
I don't get it.
So, all right. 1 second. I'm just looking. I thought I'd add something here. Oh, that's weird. 1 second. No, I guess I don't. I thought I had uploaded a clip, but I don't have it.
No.
Oh, that sucks. I thought I had it, but I don't have it. Okay, well then you don't have it. What are you gonna do about it? Why don't you cry about it? That was from Pee Wee.
I don't have to say a lot more.
All right. Zoe versus Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca is awesome.
Yeah, Sol Ruca's really good.
She looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like her a lot. Like
the way she moves around the ring. It's awesome.
Shit, man. She's got some wicked flips.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, she just looks cool.
Yeah. They're pretty JV level Wyatt Family Insanity mashup. Yeah. I was thinking, I didn't know Sanity that well, Brian, but I knew Wyatt Family.
Sanity Clause?
Sanity
Clause?
Sanity Clause. Oh, you
can't fool me. There's no Sanity Clause.
Sanity Clause.
All right. Sorry, that's a Marx Brothers joke.
Oh man. I knew it's just, I don't like, if you're going to be a cult, Wyatt Family is cool. Like, these guys are cool, but inevitably they run out of steam because you just like, you're like, okay, what am I watching?
Right.
Like, you need an NWO thing where there's a purpose and you drive it in. Now, WCW drove it in and then drove it into the freaking ground. But you need something on that level to me. Like, the Nexus is a great example of a team that was looking to change things. Or like, you're either Nexus or you're against us. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But this stuff now, it's like, oh, we're Schism. 4 roots formed a tree. And I'm like,
yeah, what?
Yeah. But Sol Ruka versus Zoe. Sol Ruka is going to be awesome. She needs a character right now. She's flippy blonde girl who that's not a character,
Right.
But she's good fodder, I guess, for Zoe Stark, who needs to now be built up as a heel. So,
yeah. So,
but this was a really good match. I thought it was probably the best executed match of the night.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So Zoe, of course, won that one.
Yeah,
because like that's pretty much it for NXT.
Still a lot more women. You get more women's action on one show of NXT than you get with SmackDown and Raw combined.
And actually, so there's actually a lot. I had there were 6 bullet points to talk about. So that's actually pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
So that takes care of NXT. So now we're on to SmackDown. All right, so SmackDown. So Damage Control came out, and guess who's going to be the partner? It's not going to be. It wasn't this partner. It wasn't the secret partner. It wasn't this guy.
No, that was the unfortunate thing, and that's who I was cheering for. But it was probably the best alternate.
Who could it be?
I don't know. Becky came out, and I liked how she came out because, first of all, when she came out, Asuka's face was awesome. She was like super excited, and I watched this a few times because I loved Asuka's reaction.
Yeah,
but I loved the heel's reaction. I really loved the heel's reaction. Dakota Kai literally looked like she was going to start crying.
Yeah,
I love that.
Dakota Kai is like one of my favorite facial expression wrestlers. Like,
yeah. She literally looked like someone came in and said her dog died. Like it was pretty good. Io Sky constantly just looks like she doesn't know where she is or who she is or who these people are standing next to her. So no reaction there. Nikki Cross, God bless Nikki Cross. She was excited. She was happy.
She's laughing away
for her opponent to be called in. She's great.
Nikki Cross is like one of the best. She just hangs around. I like where like she's just like at the side of the ring, like laughing or like what is happening right now. She's so good. This is the best character for ever. Like really, she's really going up a notch.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you did call it Double C. Yeah, you did call it. And then Rhea Ripley was like, this is and Bayley just looked like, she smelled someone fart.
Right.
Like it was just not good. And the heels reaction were great. Just Nikki Cross like sold it for me. She was like, everyone looked sad except Io, who looks like she's confused about what's going on.
Right.
And like Nikki was like so happy. She was like, Becky, it's gonna be Becky against me. I'm like, I love you, Nikki Cross.
She's the best. Okay, so then we had Valhalla and B-Fab show. They didn't really do anything, so we
didn't do anything.
Rhea and Dom going to Rey Mysterio's house.
Oh my god!
Literally. Okay.
Laughed.
I can't. It's like, where can we? Oh, they're attacking you, and it's like during Thanksgiving, and my wife was watching this, and she's like, "This is outrageous." She's like, "Do people believe this is really happening?" I was like, "Well, no, like literally, and like who's filming this on their cell phone?" And then I'm like, literally, they're all there for Thanksgiving. They're like, guys, you want to do a quick promo? They're like, sure. So it's like, Rey Mysterio's daughter or something holds her cell phone up. Okay, go. Action. Hello. No, Dom, you can't come in. And then they say, we got it. Stop. Okay, let's go eat Thanksgiving now. They all get up and go eat Thanksgiving. It's just so funny.
First of all, the cameraman being outside with them, I was like, who brings a cameraman to Thanksgiving dinner? Right? Not, Dom, not now. It's like, it's Thanksgiving. It's like, no, Dom. He bursts in and he starts kicking Ray's ass, and he takes a broom to his. I don't know why Ray's leg was in the walking boot or whatever that was.
Yeah.
But he literally breaks a broom. He breaks a broom over Ray's leg, and I'm like, and you can hear the family in the back screaming, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, this is ridiculous. And Dom, this was Dom's best performance because like, I just wanted to come for Thanksgiving. Boom. That's all I wanted. Boom. I'm like, what is going on?
It's so great. It's so funny. Yeah, I wrote down who's filming this. Like what?
Yeah.
Becky came out. She's like, I had 4 months to think it over. I'm going to punish damage control and all that. Since Becky Lynch is voted as one of the greatest people who ever lived by me, anything she does is 10 out of 10. So of course I loved it. I mean, it's like her spot. I love Becky Lynch on the mic and everything. She's like, the second she appeared, I was like, yeah. So her, like, Bailey versus Becky, that's like just them even talking is funny, which we'll get to on Raw last night, which was like the best Raw ever. I might actually have to save that one. Yeah, so that was just a quick spot, whatever. Then we had Raquel and Shotzi were there, and Ronda Rousey and Shayna was there, and Raquel's arm was
put in that chest, and then they slammed it on
her.
It broke her elbow or whatever.
Sure, whatever it was. I mean, like, she still came out to fight or whatever, but like, I mean, we knew that was going nowhere. That's really the only realistic way that you can get Raquel to kind of tap out and make it seem somewhat realistic. Her arm's hurt. Ronda gets the arm bar. Okay, well, yeah, that you're gonna tap, right? So I mean, it's okay, but it's a bit standard. It's very standard. It's very standard issue wrestling storyline. So
yeah, I'm going to save my comments for Survivor Series because I got a lot to say about this.
Mm-hmm.
But for this thing, yeah, I just didn't care. Like, I didn't care. Like, Raquel got injured. I'm like, okay. And then Shotzi came, they lost. Like, Raquel tapped. I'm like, okay, right. You couldn't have Shotzi lose because, like, going into their last match. And then Shotzi gave a decent promo walking out of the training room. And I'm like, okay, but ultimately, yeah. Anyhow, it was fine. I have some really bad criticism about the storyline and about Ronda Rousey. And I'm going to talk about both.
Yeah, so I already put a poll up. Should Ronda be fired? Because that's trending. Fire Ronda is trending. Because they're just, people are like, yeah, like she's not like, they're saying Shotzi put the time in and she's trying to better herself and work, and Ronda's just like,
I don't blame Ronda though. I'm going to get into the problem the WWE has. They've had it with Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar was a different beast than Ronda.
Right. Well, let's do it. So the first match was the War Games match. We'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
I actually thought that War Games match was pretty good.
Oh, it was excellent.
It was crazy. But okay, yeah. We'll get to that one. So let's do Ronda versus Shotzi. So I put a poll up, guys. I see some votes already. Fire Ronda was trending. I'm just going to tell you the people's thoughts before we get into our talk. So a lot of people are saying Shotzi was trying to carry that match, doing the best she could. Ronda wasn't performing up to the standards. People are pissed off. They're saying fire Ronda, #fire Ronda, which is crazy. I've put a poll up. Let's see. Okay, so far we've got a couple of votes. You guys are saying no, don't fire her. I'm obviously no, don't fire her because I like Ronda. But asterisks or whatever. Yeah, there needs to be something worked out here. This is shades of Brock Lesnar, where it's like, okay, well, what are you? Like, Ronda Rousey is no longer training, and I've watched all her matches. I watch everything with her. She's no longer part of MMA. Like, she doesn't do UFC. She's not with Dana White or any of that. She's not there. She streams video games mostly. That's her thing. She also shows some judo tips here and there. Okay, well, it's time to start okay, this is the crossroads. Where do you want to go? If you want to maintain I'm Ronda Rousey, I'm, I was the best female competitor in my weight class at that time during my reign, and I brought women's fighting on the map. I put on the map. I got it popular. This is true. I'm a Ronda Rousey fan. I'm with her big time. I'm with you. And I'm going to just live off of that and raise my family, work on the farm, do my streaming stuff. Or am I going to go into this and be like, okay, let's really practice. Let's get the character down. Let's practice these matches, show up. Like, the problem is that you're you're in the same business as Becky Lynch, who literally fights all the time. She comes on every episode. It's like Bayley is consistently injured. She was limping, and she still did that fight in the back, and you could see she was limping in the beginning. We'll talk about Raw, but she was limping already. I saw her. It's like, you're already hurt. And she still goes out and fight. They even said, she wasn't cleared or whatever to do anything, which could be kayfabe. I don't know, but they're still fighting. So it's like you're up against people who are doing so much. And this is the Brock Lesnar thing. This is why I had animosity towards Brock Lesnar. And the only reason I didn't have animosity to Ronda Rousey is because I liked her before she came in. Whereas Brock Lesnar, I didn't know about Brock Lesnar. I wasn't watching anything, but I only watched UFC. I only watched the female fights on UFC. Some maybe, if it's maybe some of the higher profile matches with the guys. But I watch Amanda Nunes and stuff. Like, I watch the female stuff. So I liked Ronda Rousey. Prior to me watching Ronda Rousey fighting, I didn't care about Ronda Rousey because I didn't know who she was. She just came out of nowhere, and now she's in movies. I'm like, why are you in movies? Who are you? Oh, you're this fighter. I'm like, okay. Then I researched. I was like, oh, wow, shit, she is pretty damn awesome. She deserves the hype she's getting. Then she got knocked out. She did enough fight against Amanda. Amanda kicked the crap out of her. And everyone's like, oh, screw Ronda Rousey. Well, hold on a second. She still had like 13 wins or something. Like, this isn't someone that walked in off the streets and talked a big game. The media gave her a big head. And this was what happens. She's a young woman, doing what right. And she's good. She's like, wow, everyone loves me. And guaranteed, I saw pictures of her when she was younger. She's a nerdy girl. She likes Dragon Ball. Like, she watched Dragon Ball Z, and that's why she got into fighting. Like, it's like she's a nerd. She plays video games, so she's a nerd. So she didn't get all this attention. Now she's getting it all, and everyone's like, wow, you're so amazing. Oh my God, Ronda, you're the best. It's going to go to her head. So I'm not faulting Ronda Rousey on this one. But now, that was then. Now you're at this point now where you do have your status. This isn't you being pressured or whatever. You can do whatever you want now. You're at the point now. Like, if Tom Cruise makes a bad movie now, then you say, Tom Cruise, buddy, you made a shit movie. What are you talking? This is in the beginning of his career, right? When he's got to take any role he gets. Ronda Rousey's a friggin' judo fighter in the Olympics. And then she gets better and better, and she's winning. She starts doing some like MMA fights. She gets into UFC, gets women's division, and her head gets big for sure. And then it's Rocky 3. People, Rocky 3. No, that's a legit good movie.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? You get to the point where you're so big now, you're like, yeah, I'm the best. And then Mr. T comes along and kicks the shit out of you. You're like, well, where'd this guy come? That's Amanda Nunes, who's like, yeah, I gotta win. I'm not here. I don't have movie deals and contracts, and glamour photo shoots. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here to win. Amanda Nunes was the Mr. T Clobberin of Rocky 3. Got a couple of comments here. Double C Ronda isn't as bad as. Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 100% agree with that.
Right. This is what we're saying. So I didn't see comments. I was on another screen. So the way StreamYard is like, there's different tabs, and depending on what tab you're on, you don't see the comments. So you're right, Brian. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Steve. Okay. So it was just to recap. It was Ronda versus Shotzi. I don't think this entire match was like a garbage fest. There was like some good, like I'm like, okay, that looked good. This looked pretty good. That was okay. They're throwing in a lot. There's chairs in there and all that. I mean, Shotzi wasn't too bad. They had a few, they Piper's Pit and all that, but there was some effed up stuff. and especially the outside the ropes. I don't know what the hell they were trying to do there, and it's like Shotzi fell and Ronda like didn't get her and like didn't hold her or something. It was just weird.
It was a weird spot. Generally, I heard it was a botch fest.
Yeah,
I watched it. It wasn't a botch fest.
Yeah, there's like three botches, and then that's botch fest. Well, the match is like half an hour, and it's like 3 or 4 bad spots is not a botch fest, right?
Well, the problem with this match was you noticed the botches because it was only 7 minutes long.
Right.
That's my first problem.
Yeah.
This is the women's championship match. First of all, you threw this opponent into there with hardly any time.
Yeah.
And she's challenging at Survivor Series. You didn't give her any steam before Survivor Series, and you expect people to care. That's number one. That's a fail. You make it like 7 minutes long. That's a fail. And you didn't tell a story during it. What was the story? Like, and I'm going to get to Ronda in a second, but there was no story. There was nothing. It was literally, I was watching a Raw match during Survivor Series or a SmackDown match, and it ended. I'm like, really?
Yeah, okay.
Like, this was pitiful booking. Pitiful booking. Match was not given any time to tell a story, to invest the audience. Other than Shotzi risked her life and took out the entire front row of the crowd, which possibly was the best part of the match.
See, like that's what, like that was good. That was cool. Yeah, the problem is when you have 2 or 3 bad ones and it's only 10 minutes or whatever. I didn't even realize it was 7 minutes. That's crazy. When it's shorter, you remember them more. But like I was like, okay, like this isn't. I was like, oh, okay, you know that she's jumping in the audience. That's cool. And like literally, like that entire front row, like collapse. Like I'm like, okay, that's kind of neat. But the big one was the one on the side of the ropes where you're like, oh boy.
Yeah.
This was like, what were you guys? I don't even understand what you were trying to do. And whatever it is, you didn't do it. I don't, that was weird.
But the problem with this match, besides the fact that you had an opponent who basically was a jobber until she won that match inexplicably.
Yeah.
2 weeks before Survivor Series to go against Ronda Rousey, who you built up as this unstoppable, baddest woman on the planet. I hear that every single time she comes out. What do you expect me to say? What do you expect me? I'm not invested. No, I'm not invested. But here is the number one problem that no one is saying. Ronda is failing miserably as a heel. She's failing miserably as a heel because she doesn't know how to act. She will put a person in a move and then she'll yell at the audience for 3 minutes. And I'm like, where's the match? Remember back in the day, J-Man, when heels could tell a match, like that they could get heat and all that, and they didn't have to stand there and yell at the crowd every 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's her way of doing it.
Yeah, there's a heel way of doing it. You cheat. You're unnaturally rough. Ronda Rousey's style has not changed other than she throws in a couple more submission moves. That she hasn't changed as a heel from a face. What has changed? She comes out with Shayna Baszler and laughs at people. Okay. But during a match, when your storytelling is actually the meat, you're not doing it.
Yeah, she makes fun of the crowd, which is a heel thing, but it's all. That's why we're saying, like she's saying, it's
that's what Brian's saying. She's green.
It's like you're just in there and saying, okay, I'm going to be a villain because I'm going to yell at the crowd. Okay, so check. Come in, make fun of the crowd, be a bully, laugh at people's injuries. Yep, check. Okay, so what are you doing in the ring? Oh, nothing. Right, but there's still more that needs to happen. Like you're not done.
She's still doing the same moves as face Ronda Rousey. Like it doesn't make any sense. Dominic Mysterio. I would love that double C.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Dominic's doing good.
Dominic, he comes in, he emulates Eddie Guerrero, instant heat. He does the Three Amigos. He doesn't have
pissed off, man.
Yeah. He doesn't have to stand there and just yell at the crowd. And
he doesn't talk.
Yeah. He knows how to get heat and what will piss people off while still being engaged in the match. Ronda Rousey doesn't engage in matches.
Right.
She puts someone in a submission move and she's like yelling at the crowd. I'm like, are you into this match? Are you invested in the flow, the storytelling? She's not.
She doesn't know how.
No.
I don't think anyone's showing her.
No.
Because she is doing what a regular person would do who watches wrestling.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, yeah, I got to yell at the crowd. I got it. Yeah, I'll make fun of people. I know idiots out there. It's like, okay. And then she thinks, well, and I'm a fighter, so I'm going to fight. I'm going to do a match and I'll yell and whatever. It's like, I know, but like, there's also in-ring things that you can do, right? Outside of just having bad dialogue or mean dialogue. Like, yeah, what's his face? Dominic is doing great. People just like this. And like, you know what? You can make fun of other things. Like, even when, like, as an example, this is a weird example, but Seth Rollins, when he was doing the Cody Rhodes and he came out in the polka dots and all, it's like, oh,
yeah,
right. Like, it's like, oh, you're an asshole. Like, and that's, he didn't need to do that. Like, he doesn't need to, it just adds to the assholeness of it. It's like Ronda's the same thing. Yeah. And it's like, she didn't change, it's like, okay, well, you have to do a bit more, but they're also not telling her. I don't think they're telling her because I think Ronda is I don't think she's like, well, I'm not going to do that. No, I don't think she knows.
The WWE is protecting Ronda while Ronda continues to do bad.
Right.
They got to have her lose and start, like, if you want to wake her up, have her start losing. He still is. Yes, I noticed that. Like, you either have her lose or don't put the belt on her and make her go away and bring her back once in a blue moon as an attraction.
Like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, like Brock Lesnar. Don't give her the belt and have her continue winning as she continues to fail, because that won't motivate her to succeed. That won't motivate her to be better.
She has to decide. Do you want, hey, Joe, how's it going, man? I agree. Brian Hepburn and Ronda can be carried a good match, but she can't carry it. Right. Yep. That's what they're saying. Let me check my poll. 75% no, 25% yes for firing her. So 25% yes.
Yeah, I'm not for firing Ronda without trying to salvage this, because
I would ask Ronda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ronda, what do you want to do? Do you want to be streaming video games? Or do you want to seriously try a run at this business and see what you can do? You don't have a lot of time in wrestling because there's physicalities, there's people getting bored with you, right? There's always someone there. Any one of these ladies goes, I could replace any one of these PNGs. Right? It's like, oh, Charlotte's gone. Oh, I see ya. I've got PNGs ready to go. Right? Insert person. Here you go. Aaliyah was down here, gone. Who knows if she's
Naomi's.
Where's Naomi? Sasha, the boss. Where's Sasha? Gone. That's it. Gone. I mean, they're waiting. They're waiting around the corner, man. They gotta just ask her one. And then if she says, you know what, let's do this. Well, then they gotta get her in and say, okay, Ronda, look. You're not performing up to the fan standards. The fans nowadays are not the same as they were before. Look, as just a person who's watching, I'm okay with whatever. Look, I don't care. It's like, oh, there's a couple of botched moves. Okay. So they botched a few moves. I'm all right. I got to see Ronda fight, Shotzi. That was fun. They went to the crowd. That was cool. I'm a very easy to please guy. I don't get angry about stuff. I'm not even angry about this match. When they're saying fire Ronda Rousey, I'm thinking, are you guys insane? Why is this trending? It's like, I wouldn't go that bad. It's like, she's not injuring people like Nia Jax, who's like literally hurting people, which is a danger. It's like, okay, there's a couple of it's like when Shotzi, they're like, oh, she didn't do that ladder thing. I'm like, okay, who cares? So I'm not that pissed off over that. I'm very loose. So, I'm like, that was an okay match. It's fine. Move on with my day. And honestly, we're not going to these events. We didn't go pay money to sit there and have this shit event. And then it's different when you paid your $1,000. And then when we went to Raw, we're like, well, this better be a damn good Raw because we just paid $850. So it's like, okay, that's a different story. I'm watching it at home on TV. Oh, this match is boring. I got several iPads and I've got friggin' iPhones and comic books. Like I've got books here. No problem. This match is boring. I read. Oh, the match is over. Oh, let's watch it again. Who cares? I don't care. But there's people out there that do. And there's people out there that are not going to be like me. They're not going to be like, yay, it's Ronda. They're going to be like, oh, that was a botched move. Oh, that's not working out. What? You're not telling any story here. Okay, that was a fail. It's like, Shotzi's carrying this match. Why is this only 7 minutes? Right? Like, and those guys are the legit guys. They're like, yeah, they're the guys who consistently show up to events, buy stuff. You please me. I've got a few things. I'm not a layman. I bought stuff, right? You bought stuff too. We have autographs, and so we're in the middle tier. Like, if they fire Ronda, I'll be like, oh, that sucks, and then I'm like, well, Becky's still there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the end of the world for me. But it's like, I'm not for firing anybody. I'm for, let's see what we could do with these people. But they have to want to do it. That's it. They have to want. You got to be Ronda. What do you want to do? If you look at Ronda when she first came in and look at because I've seen Ronda throughout her entire career, like I've watched her judo matches from the Olympics when she was like 20. And it's like, you look at her, it's like she was fit, right? You look at when she was like fit. Now she's a mom. Yeah, but Becky Lynch is a mom. Right? Asuka's a mom.
Yeah.
And Becky Lynch is a mom from 5 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. She's ripped again.
Yeah. Candice LeRae's a mom.
Sorry?
Candice LeRae's a mom.
Candice LeRae looked pretty good, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so Ronda, it's like you got to get back into the physicality of it, right? It's like,
I don't think she respects wrestling. I think she's a fan. She's like, this is an easier way to get a paycheck. I do it's Tony Montana. I do a couple of moves and
I'm gonna clip that.
That sort of thing.
Yep.
But it's wrestling fans expect more, especially savvy wrestling fans.
That's what I'm saying. They're not just gonna be like, oh, J-Man thinks Ronda's cool, so yay, it's all good. Yeah, but J-Man's not gonna go buy all the merchandise and buy all the toys. He did buy some toys and some merchandise, so we will get some, but not the big ones. And he's not going to go on. He doesn't have 3 million wrestling followers. Like, there's guys out there that have got like 500,000 subscribers and are saying fire Ronda. It's like, that's a lot of.
When you start getting into those guys, the influencers, the Dave Meltzers and that, well, I'm not saying Dave Meltzer saying fire.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey, but when you got guys in the community, like if that Ari guy who we've watched, if he's like, Ronda sucks, it's like, ooh, this guy's interviewed everyone.
Yeah.
Like, Brian, I think we're all sitting there saying something better has to come out of this.
Right.
Because this is just like that bag flying in the wind where you're like, okay, like, so what? And I'm watching like Ronda's episodes now is a lot of so what.
I recommend you try another sport, like knitting.
It's getting to that point.
So, all right, War Games. I've got so much notes on this.
There were some botches there, man.
I'm just gonna recap the just the basic of it.
Yep.
So it's Becky, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Asuka, Michin, and versus Bayley, Dakota, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Nikki Cross. Bianca was first with Dakota, then Io Sky came in, then Asuka came in, then Nikki came in, then Alexa Bliss came in, then Bayley, then Michin. And I think that was it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, so it was Dakota Kai versus Bianca.
Then Rhea Ripley, then Becky.
Right.
There you go. So that is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's it.
I'm going to break down the performances for each performer.
Okay, so all right. Okay, so you want to do an order of how they came, or do you have your order? Okay. Okay, so Bianca started with Dakota. Okay. That was so the way it worked. If you guys, for whatever reason, didn't know, they fought for like 5 minutes, And then after 3 minutes, Io Sky came in because Bailey's team had the advantage from that match from last week. And then it's a countdown of 3 minutes to the next competitor. Once the final person is in, ding, 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 match starts. It's a 1 pin or submission. That's how it works. So Bianca started, which is cool, fighting Dakota. So there you go.
That started off well. I thought Dakota Kai's outfit was really good. I like the chaps.
Yeah.
And Dakota's got a great ass. I don't know what to tell you.
I've noticed.
Again, and this infuriates me beyond the pale. Stop filming Dakota's running boot with her approaching. Do it from the back. Switch to the back because you can tell it never hits. Stop doing it. And Dakota had a match this week where there were a number of good shots with it, but they did it again. And I'm like, stop it. When she does the running boot, switch the angle. Like it's driving me nuts.
There was one, where was it? There was one, I don't know. There was one that looked amazing.
Yeah.
And where was it? Was it this one or last one? You know what? I throw my notes away after I'm done. There was one I was like, oh my God, that looks so good. And then I was trying to write it down. I'm like, now I can't find it. Because it's just an angle.
Yeah.
So what's happening is that she's doing it perfectly every time because you really shouldn't be kicking the crap out of someone's head. And if you get the right angle, it looks freaking awesome. Even the scorpion kick.
Yeah.
I think, was it this week's scorpion
kick?
This
week's scorpion kick was really good. It actually, you could tell.
Shit.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Was it this week's? Let me see if I wrote it down.
The problem with Dakota Kai now is I watch all her kicks. I watch all her kicks now because
this Raw's scorpion. I was like, oh yeah, shit, that was good.
That hit.
I'm like, why does it suck sometimes? Well, anyways, continue.
Yeah, it's just bad. I will give Dakota Kai, I like the idea that she's been in 4 War Games, start her off with that. Bianca is Bianca. Right. Bianca looks,
She nailed the camera. Becky knocked her head into the camera.
Bailey, I'll get to Bailey in a second.
Yeah.
But Dakota Kai, I like her. She's grown on me a lot.
Yeah, big time.
I want her to do well. Bianca's Bianca. Bianca is awesome. I didn't care for the final KOD because you could tell it was like weird how it was done into the cage. Like it didn't look good.
Yeah, she just threw her. Stop pretending it wasn't a KOD.
KOD
is the cage. No, it was her picking her up and throwing her.
Yeah, like her knees may have hit the cage. I don't even, like it was just bad.
Yeah.
But Bianca's awesome. That whole thing where they got her pinned against the ring with the table, I thought was a great sequence.
Awesome, man. That was so good.
Yeah, Bianca's a special competitor. There's a reason she's champion, awesome. And she deserves it.
Yeah, she's a great champion. I like her mic. She looks really good. She works out. She's tough.
Yeah.
She's just cool. Like you just see her as a regular person. She just seems like she's super cool. I'm regretting they had her autograph, but it sold out. And I was thinking maybe I should have grabbed her autograph too.
The one thing I wish they had done, and they teased it, but they didn't do it, was if she did the Tower of Doom where she power bombed all those people, that would have been amazing. But
it would have been too hard. Like it was just too
Next in Io Sky, she had some good moves. I liked where she jumped from one rope to the other and did I don't know if it was a moonsault or something. She also did the moonsault on the 2 people standing from the cage. Yep. She did though what I thought was the scariest botch of the night.
Yep,
it wasn't a total botch. She did a Hurricanrana.
Yep.
On Bianca, but she did it too low. She did it way too low.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to hit her head.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, when you do a Hurricanrana, you should really do it at the knees.
Preferably. Yep.
Shins minimum. Yep. But preferably
she was like in the instep of
she was at the feet. She relied on Bianca's natural athleticism to make that move look good. Yep. She hit her way too low. I was like, oh God, she's going to hurt someone.
Yeah. And that looked scary. Like that actually was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's not a botch where you're like, okay, yeah, you missed that one. This was like that was like kind of low key scary. Like that's like, whoa, that looked weird. It was
that
just
could
like
have ended badly.
That was luck. But I did write that down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then it was Asuka.
Asuka coming in. Asuka's I gotta tell you, one of my secret shames of watching wrestling, I love the poison mist. I
like it too.
love the mist when she missed it, because up until that point, the thing is that Rhea Ripley has deservedly so been on this march of dominance where she's never looked weak at any point against men. Never mind the females, men.
Yeah.
And you're like, and she's been so dastardly. You're like, someone's got to do something crappy to her, not punch her or like she's all like, let's do something that really messes her up. So when Asuka poison mist her, I was like mega popping. I loved the poison mist. Rhea sold it, so she took it way more than I've seen other people, because a lot of people just end up with a little bit. Her entire face was green.
Her entire face was green.
Yeah. I'm like, Rhea took it like a champ. And I gotta say, I continue to love Asuka. I know her shtick is a little bit tired, but her as a competitor with the combo strikes and the low German suplexes and all that stuff, I continue to be a big Asuka fan.
I like her. I'm still good with her gimmick, actually. Like, I thought I was like, but then she comes out and I get pumped up for her. I'm like, she's kind of cool. I'm like, screw it. It's like one of those ones where it's like, you know what? Like, you're cool. Just go with it. And she's just fun. She's just like a fun character.
Yeah.
So,
but she's in her 40s. She's had a kid and she still performs well. So there you go.
Nikki came in and Nikki brought in 4,000 weapons.
Yeah. Nikki had the moment where she was just sitting up top laughing and kicking her feet. And then she just decided to splash everyone.
Right. It's so funny.
The Nikki Cross character is awesome. This iteration is awesome.
Yeah. I wrote Nikki sitting, takes everyone out. I mean, it's like literally like, and then Bailey comes in with like ladders and tables. And it's like, you're like, oh, okay. Like, this is outrageous.
You know what I love about Bailey? Bailey is so pro. Like, she's doing it. She's so casual. She's chewing gum while she's throwing ladders into the ring.
That was awesome. I thought so too. I was like, you're chewing gum. Firstly, I liked her hair in this match.
She's very casual. Bailey makes the match better, even though she can't really do as much as she used to. She makes the match better through her leadership in the ring. You can tell she's really directing traffic a lot in there. And I think a lot of the best spots happen because Bailey set it up somehow. You can see she continues to know where to fall, what her next move is, what the next spot is. She's just a pro. Yeah. And I love Bailey for that.
So Asuka came in, then Nikki came in with the weapons. Alexa Bliss was next to come in.
Alexa Bliss was pissed. She was pissed. She threw the wire, the cable as she ran. Did you see that? She stopped. She threw the cable over her head, and she was pissed.
Yeah. So what? Okay. So no, I didn't catch that.
She was charging to the ring, and I think she saw the wire. She stopped dead. She reached down. She threw the wire back over her, and she turned. And she just gave the dirtiest look to the cameraman, like, "Oh, you left this here. I could have tripped and fell while I was running to the ring."
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. Maybe I was writing notes or something at the time.
Yeah, I caught that. I was like, "Oh
shit."
She was not happy.
Yeah.
Alexa was basically a non-entity in this match. She
they're changing her. We know. We saw it. They're going to change it. We saw it already a bit.
She's going back to crazy. But anyhow, she was a non-entity. She's a lot more talented than she's shown, but I just think she's not into the character, and by not being into the character, she's not into the match.
Right. Yep. So that was Alexa Bliss, and then Bailey, right?
And then Mia Yim.
Oh, sorry, Meacham.
Mia Yim is awesome. Taking that ladder shot when Rhea like basically, I don't know what the move was, but she took her with her down and they broke the ladder. Mia Yim is awesome. I hope she gets more popularity with the fans, gets over a bit more, because I really like Mia Yim a lot. Yeah.
Especially we'll get to that for tomorrow.
Especially against an injured Dakota Kai. But anyhow, I really like Mia Yim. I think she's a good counterpart to take on Rhea Ripley. I hope they do more with her.
Yeah.
After this whole thing is done. Next was Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is, other than Bianca Belair, she's probably the best pound for pound competitor in the WWE right now. Her ability to do so many things. Yeah, I noticed that too, Brian. Like, that handcuff spot was bad. That was bad because both her hands were too small.
Alexa Bliss is a tiny girl.
Yeah, she's tiny. I don't know what they were thinking with that.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley is awesome. She laid waste to everyone. Like, she showcased well. She performs well. That's it. She's awesome in the match. Then Becky was the last one. Becky is top of the line, top of the game. That leg drop, even though it was more like a bum drop, was awesome.
Yeah, I wrote that one down.
Yeah, it's you saw really the best that the WWE has to offer as far as the women's division goes, and you also saw some of the mistakes that they make. Is what it is. This was a long
match, just through the nature of the time.
Yeah,
the 3 minutes, because like even if it's 5 minutes and then it's 3, like, you know what I mean, like it just by waiting to get everyone in there, it's going to be a long match.
It's a 30-minute match before the match even starts.
Right. It's like you're not right, because you've got 10 people and it's 3 minutes or whatever, so it's like it hasn't even started and then it starts.
But overall, it was an awesome match. I'd give it like maybe an A-. It was really entertaining. I think everyone at the end of the day, like, the carnage was real. I think it was well deserved, and it was entertaining as hell. It was like the exact opposite of the other women's match in the card.
Yeah, like I was writing down so many things: leg drops, broken ladder, the moonsault back, like the top moonsault, manhandle slam. You know, I felt, and this is another thing too. Because we always talk about the storyline. We just talked about this. There was very clear storylines within each person.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, I see except for Alexa, which they don't have a storyline for her, so she's just there. But now Nikki made it a story by saying, "Oh, I didn't forget what you've done." Yeah. So it was like Nikki drove that story, but they tried to sit there and think, okay, like, what is Bayley doing in this match? Like, what is Bianca doing? And they mapped it out pretty good. I mean, there's still 10 people.
Yeah.
It's hard to take 10 characters and say, like, okay, what are they all doing? I mean, I thought they did pretty good. Like, I don't know what more. Look, anytime you have 10 people, 10 human beings, you have 10 human beings in a match, all beating the crap out of each other with tons of objects everywhere, ladders and tables and chairs everywhere, and friggin' handcuffs, and 2-on-1s and 5-on-1s and 3-on-1s. There's going to be some botching. That's just part of the territory. That's just how it goes. But there's also a lot of cool stuff that you got to see. And I think the cool stuff for me super outweighed the bad stuff. So I think it was pretty awesome.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's War Games. Like, you and I have never seen this, so it's
I've never seen this one. No, I don't.
This was entertaining as hell. There was the carnage that was promised.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to be disappointed about. The stuff that I continue to have a problem with is the stuff that I continue to have a problem with week after week, which is I don't like scary botches, and I just clean up the camera work on when Dakota Kai is doing that friggin' kick in the corner.
Yeah. Joe is saying, great camera work. Kevin Dunn still has a job to be.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we saw that one. Yeah. I mean, like there was some good camera angles in the War Games match. Some of them was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I do like the top view of like, it's
just seeing all the dead bodies
yeah,
lying
everyone's
around.
dead. It's like, okay. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
All right. Raw is War. I mean, this Raw to me, I was literally hooting and howling the entire time. Becky came in and she's the best, obviously.
Yeah.
And she goes right to the audience. I'm like, okay. And then she's cutting a promo and doing a spot.
Yeah.
Like, Bob, you're wearing an X-Men shirt. I'm like, what? And I was wearing an X-Men shirt last night too. Like, I'm wearing one too. And it's like, Bob, it's like, oh, these peasants. Bob's not a peasant. I'm like, are these people? Because some people were hiding. Like, there's a kid. I was looking around. I was like, this kid hid. Some people were like, oh no, they didn't want to be on camera or whatever. I'm like, is this real? Like, is Bob just a regular guy?
I think he was. I think
this is great. She's talking to him like, who are you? I'm Bob. Like, what?
This is the genius of Becky Lynch, where she understands how to put on a show, how to like make things entertaining and make it interesting. Like, what haven't we seen yet? Go into the crowd and just start talking to them and amping things up. I'm like,
where are you
brilliant.
From? Oh, I like your shirt. Like, I'm an X-Men fan. What? That's where we were sitting. Why couldn't that be our Raw?
I know.
We were sitting right there. Anyways, yeah. I mean, that was outrageous.
It was awesome. Damage Control came out and she fought all three of them, ended up in the merchandise section.
So they come out. I'm like, oh my God, that's actually the merchandise section. I'm like, yes. It's like, oh my God, there's people there. Like, I'm trying to buy my merch. Like, oh.
It was an awesome way to kick off the show. Becky comes back and immediately it's just like, yeah, it's awesome. I love Becky. I want to see her fight Damage Control. I don't know, like Bayley versus Becky is just that sounds like a dream match. That seems so good.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Bayley hit the camera with her head when they were outside in that thing.
Bayley, I don't know what's happening to her. She's just like getting like murdered now. Like, I don't know if it's her idea or what, but like, you know, like let's KOD you onto a ladder. Let's like okay, Bayley, I know you've been missing. You were gone a year and you probably felt like you got to make up for lost time, but don't kill yourself while doing it.
I mean, there's some crazy stuff. You're like, okay, like what is this? Like, and
Yeah.
I'm talking, yeah. And who said it? Someone earlier was saying it's like it's hard. Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, she gets dropped on her head or takes some kind of shot or something. She was limping. Was Io Sky injured as well?
I think a lot of the ladies. I mean, I give full props to Dakota Kai. She started off War Games. She was in the match the longest. She showed up on Raw 2 days later with her freaking shoulder all taped up, and she had a 15-minute match.
I mean,
like, you got to give that girl props. She was pretty damn good. Yeah, that I thought of that too, Joe. When Becky Lynch was fighting off all three members of Damage Control, I was like, okay, so
but she had the power of the people on her side.
Bob was on her side. Yeah,
Bob was there.
I don't know, like that's a hard thing to swallow. Like, it's the same problem I had when Bianca Belair beat up 3 women. I'm like, okay, so there's no competition then,
right?
You know, but yeah. I do want to see I want to see Bayley versus Becky, not because I'm invested in that storyline, but because I want to see Becky versus Bayley because they're two great entertainers. That's it.
It'd be interesting if like Bayley, they could do like another like Bayley wins one of the titles, Becky wins one of the titles, and you have someone wins both the two, the undisputed. We had Rhea Ripley versus Michin. Rhea Ripley's awesome. There's a lot. Okay, so after the matches, she's wearing the tights now where you see her legs.
Yeah.
And her backside is is not too bad. So there's so many memes. It's like SpongeBob, like it's I don't know, it's hilarious, and people are like, it's just too funny. And you're seeing, I just like after that, I just saw so many. Like it's like there's like 4 million memes of like, like I tried to find one to put it on. I couldn't find anything. I mean, I can put that for you, but it's like it's just so many, and it just cracks me up. Everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And then so that's great. But yeah, Rhea Ripley's awesome. I think one of her earrings or whatever fell out. That was but then they moved it, which is good.
Mia Yim and her are just really well matched together.
Yeah,
Mia Yim, I really like her a lot.
She's
I like
good.
She was swamming the guys during the 8-person tag. I mean, I don't know. I'm really feeling Mia Yim right now. She comes out looking like frigging Katana from Mortal Kombat. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling this girl.
Okay, so that was that one, and then we had Candice LeRae, who we talked about, versus Dakota.
This was an odd match just because I feel like Candice came back with very little fanfare.
Yeah.
She wrestled a random member of Damage Control because apparently, like, Dakota was the only one who wasn't injured, though she clearly was still injured. I don't think it was storyline injury. I think it was legit.
Right.
I think Dakota Kai put on a hell of a great show, and my respect for her is increasing every week.
Yeah.
Candice went over on her, and the match was a little bit sloppy. I don't know how. I think Dakota came off well. I think Candice didn't really come off.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I would love to see that, but I'm hearing Sasha's
right?
a no-go.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh,
Joe, we were laughing our ass off during that entire thing.
That's what my wife always looks up at the most inopportune times ever. She's like, because she just reads manga all day. So she's reading her manga, and I think she's reading Chainsaw Man right now. So she looks up, and it's like, oh gosh, she's like, this is so terrible. Like, do people believe this? I'm like, oh man, it was awesome until this part. Like, you missed all the good. Like when Becky comes out, I was like, come, Becky's coming out. It's like she won't watch then, but then she'll always look up at the worst time. And it's
until that, I was getting bored with the whole Dominic and Rhea thing, but that reinvigorated me because that was just so preposterous. I can't like the fact that his family was sitting there screaming in the background just made it like 100 times funnier to me. It's just
somebody call the goddamn paramedics. Let's go, Johnson from RoboCop.
I was just like, you should have invited, you should have bought a squirrel. You should have bought a squirrel or whatever. Like, you should have invited him in. Like, what was your problem? Rhea and Dom just wanted a nice turkey dinner with family.
That's all they wanted.
That's all they wanted. You couldn't even do that, Ray. So you should have a broom broken over your leg.
He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
Oh my God.
That is the funniest episode. That is the funniest sequence I've seen in wrestling in a while.
Oh my God. It's so funny. Oh, all right. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, what is this? Shift videos up. Oh, there's a whole bunch of weird things that got added to StreamYard. Huh. All right. We had Bianca, Alexa, Asuka talking about, oh, it's all over now. And that's where Alexa was like kind of like not caring. And this is
the Bray Wyatt symbol showed up behind her on the monitor.
Right. So this is now her turning bad or whatever.
Well, I don't know. Like, what is Bray Wyatt? I'm still like, what is Bray Wyatt? Is he a face? Is he a heel? LA Knight's a heel. He's messing with him. And can I just say off topic, LA Knight is a terrific interview. For some reason, I was laughing through his entire. First of all, he's got a swing on his one arm, and she's got the crutch under the other arm. Like it looks like he was in a car accident. And he's like, but he's still enthusiastic. Let me talk to you. He's like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, piece of trash came out of nowhere, blah, blah. And he walks off, and he comes back. He's like, yeah. And he leaves.
Yeah, he looked like Eric Idle in European Vacation. they keep injuring him or whatever, and then he's like, and it's like, yeah, what is going on here? It's like, oh, okay.
It was so fun. I don't know. I love LA Knight's interviews. Like, I just like how he's like blah blah, and then he comes back. He's like, yeah. And so I'm like, what's he doing? What's he talking about?
Yeah, I'm not feeling the Bray Wyatt stuff at all. It's a fast forward. Like, it's like I would have thought that I would have been really pumped up for it, and I'm not. And I thought I wouldn't care about the bloodline, and I super care about the bloodline.
Yeah.
Like, again, that War Games match had a big story to tell, and they told a lot in that. That, like, again, that was good. I don't know. Roman Reigns, man, he's pretty awesome. I think he's pretty scary. Like, when he's sitting there and it's like, I'll look into Sammy's eyes and I'll know, and you're like, oh shit, like, he better,
Yeah.
Sami Zayn has gone fucking so over. It's impossible. Like, well, I mean, everything that guy does.
The group hug. Like, I think the thing that works with that team now is the different personalities. Yeah, really odd choice for a brave feud. I agree, Brian. But like, I love LA Knight. Like, his interviews are hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But I like how like Jay's fighting and then like he's getting beaten up and Jimmy's running out and Roman's got his shirt. He's like, nope, him. I'm like, but please, because again, it's a camera thing. Please stop the Superman punch. I can see it missing by a literal mile.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Again, sometimes it looks awesome. The problem with that, even the woman's right Superman punch, if they connect properly, it is going to hurt.
Yeah.
So they're extra careful. Yeah. So, but being extra careful means it looks crappy.
Yeah.
So you have to have the angle, because when the angle's good, you're like, whoa, that guy just got effing nailed in his face, right?
Got smoked.
He just got smoked. Women's right is awesome. Like, she's like, boom. You're like, whoa. I like the Superman punch. I think it's a cool thing. It's just one of those. It's like DDT always looks okay. Like, it's even when it's not, when it's like, well, it still looks, oh, that was pretty good. Like, there's not really a garbage DDT unless you just like completely like miss or like,
yeah.
But like Superman punch, there's only two options. It either looked goddamn awesome or it's awful. There's no other way for it to look, because either it looks like a connection, like, goddamn, that was awesome, or it's like, oh, that was a miss.
Yeah.
It can't, there's no, like, if you slam someone, you slam them. Like, it's like, that can't look bad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it can only look bad if the person picking them up didn't pick them up properly. And you know what I mean? Like, it's like things like that, right? But it's not going to look bad. But like Superman punch, it either looks amazing or it's trash.
Well, I thought the spear was the same thing, but if you watch the Bobby Lashley match, the ending was super weird where he kind of speared him, but it was like he speared him and then he like rolled into the crowd. I'm like, that was the weirdest freaking spear I've ever seen Bobby Lashley throw.
You know what? The spear, that's another move that kind of pisses me off, because you see it and you're like, well, was that a spear? Because like, I mean, they knock people into the ropes. And I'm like, is that a spear? I don't, Oh, hey, Phantom Outsider. Superman punch is just visual. Yeah. Once you leave your, that's right. It's like,
Bruce Lee is throwing the punch.
Right. Yeah.
Because Bruce Lee can hit you hard from like, sitting on the can.
No, it looks, but that's what I'm saying. It looks brutal. It either looks brutal if the angle's good, you're like, whoa, boom. You're like, whoa, or this was obviously bad. Yeah. Whether or not it can act, it's not effective in a real fight because you could easily step back. Like, you could see that coming a mile away, right? The point of it is that they weaken the guy to a point where he's just like, and then boom, right?
Yeah.
But if it looks
Bobby Lashley's spear, because his spears are usually good, but this one was like he sort of touched Rollins' midsection and then he rolled off to the side. Right. I'm like, that almost looked like he was trying to do a roll up. What the hell is going on? It was bad.
That's what sometimes the spears don't feel like they're spears. It feels like, was this supposed to be something else that just now is a spear because you didn't complete the next part of it? Like, And it's weird. Like things like that are weird to me. I don't like. I like the spear, but it just sometimes if it looks weird. Even with Shawn Michaels, the super kick and all that, it's like it just feels weird sometimes. Like, well, you've kicked the guy 100 times. Like, was that why was the chin music? Like, was that
Sweet
not
chin music? Yeah,
yeah, kick. Like it's like, was that a super kick there, or was that just a normal kick? Like, how do I know?
It gets problematic when you have other guys just throwing super kicks left, right, and center, or DDTs, and then Jake Roberts would throw out the DDT, and yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's all like I don't want to actually hit guys, but like showing an angle where there's that verisimilitude that he hit him. Yeah,
I see.
I could see that, Joe, but like this one was and I watched it twice because I'm like, what did he do? It literally looked like he was trying to roll him up, and then he just backed off, and then they're like, oh, this is the finish. He gave me a spear. It's almost like Seth Rollins was like, oh, yeah, he definitely did not put his all into that one. I don't know what happened. Because usually Bobby Lashley's really good, but that was just a weird spear.
Yeah, but I mean, the bloodline has a bit like that has really reinvigorated or rejuvenated the bloodline stuff, because like it was getting a bit tiresome, but like the Sami Zayn honorary Uce and all that. And, and then it's help. Like Kevin Owens. It's like, oh, I'm not your friend anymore. You're like, I kind of feel bad for what's going on. This is crazy. When Roman Reigns hugged him, I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's like he's finally in, but it's like, oh, but Kevin Owens. I'm like, there's drama going on. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm like, because normally I don't get into it. I never emotionally invest in anything. I just want to see Becky Lynch and Bayley. I don't care if Bayley says I suck. I'll be like, she could literally be like, you in that Liv Morgan shirt, you're trash. I'm like, thanks, Bayley, you're the best. And it's like, what is happening? I just can't get into the storyline because I'm too pumped up for the people. But I was getting into the storyline. I was like, oh my God, I hope Sami Zayn. I was like, what's Sami going to do? Is he going to join? Is he going to go with Kevin Owens? I'm like, why am I thinking about this? Like, it's like Raw is, like last time where they're like, will he betray? And I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen at War Games? Do you think he'll betray him? Like, or will he side with Kevin Owens, or will he go with the Bloodline? I'm like, why am I thinking about this right now? Like, this is like, what? And I got into it. Like, I'm like literally got into it. And the thing is like usually when the women's matches are on, I'm paying attention, right?
Yeah.
When the men's matches are on, my wife and I might be chatting or whatever. And my wife was like, she looks up, she's like, okay. And so she's chatting with me. I was like, I kind of want to pay attention to this. It's like, really? It's like, yeah. Like, I'm like, I can't talk to you right now. I've got to pay attention to what's going on with the storyline with Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great point, Phantom Outsider. And I gotta say, if they did have that whole thing saying finish him, I would be pumped up, man.
Finish him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are pumped up for him.
No, dude. That Sammy Knoxville thing, I could not care less.
Yeah.
I did not care at all. And then when he's like, oh, I'm with the Bloodline, I'm like, oh God, this is bad.
Yeah.
And then it's like the consistency, because I even said, I was like, they're putting a lot of thought into this. And I thought, oh, here we go. Sammy will now go with Kevin Owens. Nope. And I thought, oh, Roman Reigns is now going to hate him. Nope. It's like, oh, no, Jimmy and Jay are going to now like turn on him for sure. Whatever. It's like, nope. I'm like, he's in. I'm like, honorary Uce. And that Uce thing went viral. People were like dying over that. And he's like, it's not very Uce. And people are breaking character because it's like, this is outrageous. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what is Uce?
And now it's making its way into the other, like the Braun Brutes and Drew McIntyre talking. It's like,
yeah,
oh, you're very broody or whatever. It's like,
and it's like, so yeah, it's like, no, it's like Uce. Yeah, it's honorary Uce. It's like, I'm gonna buy the honorary Uce shirt. It's like, it's nonsense. But I got so invested in it. I'm like, oh my God, what's Sami Zayn gonna do? And it's just so funny because it is a soap opera, basically.
Yeah.
But I've been the most invested in this storyline ever. That I had any storyline that I can remember, maybe going back to like No Holds Barred, where like Zeus was like gonna fight Hogan. I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Because they're in the movie together. How is that gonna work? And it's like, dumbass, they're all actors. It's like, yeah, I haven't been like, Randy and Rick. Remember that with Ric Flair and Randy Macho Man, and Elizabeth had the R or something. It was like, oh, it stands for Ric Flair. She's with Ric Flair. It's like, no, it stands for Randy. I'm like, who cares, right? But I've been pumped up for this one ever since Dusty Rhodes Hard Times, and it's like Ric Flair put Hard Times on him and his family. It's like I haven't been this invested in a storyline in a long time, so I'm really like I want the comic book adaptation of this. Like, I don't know, yeah, because Sami Zayn, I thought Sami Zayn was whatever. Yeah, like I'm like, yeah, he's okay. Johnny Knoxville, whatever. I'm not too pumped up for when they even Logan Paul.
Yeah, I wasn't pumped up at all.
It looks like he put a lot of work in, like.
He did. It was a lot better apparently than it had any right to be.
It was.
But the problem is that Logan Paul's not going to be champ. So like, I don't like it. It's the same as I look at this as reality TV. I watch for the competition. I'll give you an example. Amazing Race. They're like, oh, that one couple had a positive COVID test. They couldn't compete. Oh, we're still going to do the leg. I'm like, yeah, but I don't care. I already know who's like. They're like, we're not. No one's eliminated. I'm like, I hate non-elimination stuff.
Yeah, because we know they have a certain amount of episodes. Yeah. So obviously this is not going to count because they've lost somebody. Right, and it's like Logan Paul's not gonna win.
Right.
But maybe he put more work in than Ronda. Like,
oh, I have no doubt.
Like it seems like and they got a figure up for him now. I'm not a Logan Paul fan, to be honest with you. I really don't care about that guy, both in his YouTube channel stuff. Though I've never really watched his channel. I've only ever seen one video, and it was a video that absolutely infuriated me. I'm not going to talk about it now. So that's my impression of that person. Can that person change? Of course. And I'm not going to hold someone to the standards of 10 years ago. You did something stupid, and now I'm still, pissed off over, especially when I don't know you. So I'm giving him a chance. It looks like he's doing stuff, but unfortunately, he's in this Brock Lesnar, Ronda category where is he really going to appear every week? He hasn't appeared now. Is he going to come back and do promos? Is he going to continuously come back, or was just a one-off thing to be fun? Oh my God. With the Rey Mysterio thing getting beat up at Thanksgiving, my wife was like, what's going on? I was like, oh, there's been some crazy angles. Like,
it's still Big Boss Man. Oh, there you go. Big Boss Man stealing Big Show's father's corpse. I mean, what's he doing with the corpse? Why has he got to steal it? How do they have a match?
Right.
You stole my dad's corpse.
Yeah, like, I mean, is that going to be solved by a wrestling match? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. If you're going, yeah. Yeah. Bad Bunny was.
Over the top.
Yeah, Ronda needs to, I'm not saying fire her, give her the opportunity to change. If she refuses to change,
go from there. Basically, so we're at 80% no. And we're at 20% yes. So there's 5 votes. So one person voted to fire her.
I'm not. Let me put it to you this way.
Bill Pullman was crazy. Ryan Pillman. Yeah, sorry, Ryan Pillman.
Ryan Pillman. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Let me put it to you this way. If Ronda ended up getting fired because of what's going on in SmackDown, I wouldn't cry, but I think it's a shame.
Yeah, they shouldn't get rid of. I really like Ronda a lot. I don't want her to be gone. But Brian Pillman passed away a while ago, didn't he? He did, right? He
passed away before a pay-per-view. He was supposed to wrestle.
Yeah, I remember
Dude
that.
Wub, I think, and Goldust was in Dude Wub's corner.
Yeah. Yeah, he was actually awesome. It was crazy. He was like the crazy guy or whatever, right?
Yeah, he was the loose cannon.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian Pillman, man.
Your poor dead daddy.
Yeah.
I that's right after the angle where Shockmaster.
Well, I've got that one ready, so let's do that one. None other than the shock. He's gonna shock the world because he's none other than the Shockmaster.
And this is his entrance.
Yeah. I remember it all happening with Brian Pillman. I remember it like
mid-90s. He's gotten years.
Because I was still watching then. I was pretty hardcore. I watched every single thing. Only recently have I gone back to start watching again. All right. Well, that was we got through a lot. NXT is tonight. Nikita Lyons is teaming up with those other people, whatever they are. I can never remember the names.
Nameless.
They who shall remain nameless.
Teaming up with the Village people.
So I mean, Nikita Lyons is awesome for me, so I'm definitely gonna be watching it. So I'll probably watch that. Well, maybe not tomorrow because we've got the thing. So I'll watch that on Thursday, or maybe I'll probably watch it Thursday in the morning or something because I record those. But all right, so just a reminder: tomorrow on the Action Elite, not my channel, Action Elite channel. Link is in the description. We're going to be doing an Albert Pionne retrospective. Jean-Claude, my phone's been blowing up because Jean-Claude Van Damme is a supporter of the Action Elite. He's one of our supporters. So Owen has been tweeting out the Albert Pionne thing for tomorrow, and Van Damme's shared it, retweeted it, and stuff. So Van Damme has been really good to the site. So it's great to have Van Damme retweet our stuff and all that. Of course, he retweeted my video where I was ranking his movie the lowest, and it's like, you bastards! It's like now Van Damme thinks that I'm an asshole. But he did. So that's gonna be tomorrow night, guys. So 8 p.m. Eastern. It's gonna be really good, and hopefully it'd be awesome if Van Damme actually, but Cyborg is one of Albert Pionne's big movies, so. It's like everyone's going crazy on my phone. Like, Van Damme tweeted our thing to him. Van Damme sent it. It's like, okay, guys. It's like, so that'll be a lot of fun for tomorrow. Let's take a look at a couple more. Did you ever see the Steiner match? No. Oh yeah. We talked about this, right? Steiner. It's in my to watch thing. I definitely want to see it. Flying Brian, could you do WCW? Yep. But Pillman,
it's insane.
Yeah.
Like 4 power bombs. Brian was with John Moxley, isn't it? Yeah. Fighting hard, Brian Pillman cannot be measured in pounds and ounces.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so I
powerbomb,
gotta check out the Steiner math. But all right, guys, I think we'll end it off there. But this one's pretty good. War Games overall, I liked it. I like the War Games matches at least. So like the actual War Games parts. So I thought that was all pretty good. So reminder for tomorrow for the Albert Pionne. Friday is Back to the Space Opera versus Krull versus Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone 3D, which no one ever says that title, but they should because it's awesome. Okay, guys, then I will hopefully see you tomorrow on the Action Elite. If not, Friday. Take care.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.